Minecraft 1.20.30 just dropped its first beta, and it is a huge one. It includes changes to the entire rendering engine of the game. It's called the Render Dragon, and it's changing in a way that will allow RTX features to come to vanilla Minecraft. The stuff people will do with this is incredible, but it's also bringing with it a massive buff to diamonds. Supposedly, it will almost double the amount of diamonds in your world. That is something we'll be testing in this video, but they also have the controversial villager changes from Java, i.e. making mending much harder to obtain, while also removing some enchantments from villager trades altogether. They have done something clever to kind of abate that, and there is a better solution in the future, which involves these guys, which I'm excited to go into. But first, we need to talk about the diamond changes and the rendering changes, because they are both huge. They've just been overshadowed by the whole debate about how people want to trade with librarians, and the diamond change is a really huge one in particular, because they have increased the amount of diamond ore found at the deepest parts of the world, the deep slate area, specifically to make mining more rewarding. But what exactly does that mean? How much has it gone up by? Well, I've got a basic test right here, which is to take a 15 by 15 area, roughly equivalent to this red square, and to see how many diamonds there are in there before and after the update. So the way we find that out is we use air to replace deep slate diamond ore. That's the one that they've supposedly touched, and we're going to see exactly how many diamond ore there were before and after here, as well as over here. And then, to be silly but also get a third data point, we'll do the same over here. So by doing that in 3 separate locations, we get 3 separate values, which tells us the number of diamonds that have increased in the old versions versus the new ones. Now that we've done this same test on both versions, we have a really interesting data set that shows us that the number of diamonds stayed the same in one place. It went up by 11% in another. They were both pretty respectable numbers though, and it went up by 62.5% in the third. This gives us an average of somewhere around about 25 to 30% increase in diamonds, which is a far cry from the double in diamonds that some people have been predicting, and honestly makes it a very minor increase to the number of diamonds that you can mine. I think this is a really interesting change, and it seems as though at one third increase, it is very much a minor tweak that you probably wouldn't even notice if Minecraft weren't specifically telling you about. Are there too many diamonds now? It probably depends on where you're mining. If you go to the very best layers for diamond, and again, I'm just picking a 20 by 20 area to show you this, you can see that you're always going to find multiple piles of diamonds, but hopefully it's not going to be too many that it feels like diamond mining is just, far too easy. Because the truth is, if you want to get lots of diamond gear, the best way has been villagers for a while, and I guess this is them trying to buff diamonds to make up for that. That is my best guess, my best analysis, but it seems like it's a good thing overall to my immediate mind. However, here's something much more interesting, right? Let's go into a lush cave real quick, and let's turn on some new features which have only been possible because of the new update to the Render Dragon. Do you remember something called RTX, the ability to have super flashy worlds if you had a NVIDIA RTX card? Well, this is something that Minecraft did, basically, while being paid by NVIDIA. NVIDIA wants to show off how great their graphics cards are, and most PC gamers play a lot of Minecraft, so showing how amazing Minecraft could look was a great way to sell graphics cards. However, this was a limited time deal, and so after this deal expired, which was sometime before the start of this year, now Minecraft is allowed to add RTX features, not just to people who have expensive NVIDIA graphic cards, but also it'll be available for mobile players, console players, and PC players with less expensive hardware. Interestingly though, this is actually going to allow Minecraft to do more than they did with RTX. They're going to include some new features that were not available there, such as PBR material, physical base rendering materials. Yeah, that's what it is. Physical base rendering materials for blocks and entities, primary lighting for the sun and moon. Do you see the sun? I don't see it, but it's going to be able to be prettier, as well as shadows, bloom, and tone mapping. These are going to only be available right now in the previews, so that's Windows, Xbox, and Android, but obviously it will later be available on as many platforms as possible, because the Render Dragon is rolled out on all devices now. And although we can't use all of these features yet, because they're rolled out for creators to use, i.e. people who make packs can use them, we can show off some of these features by loading up an RTX pack and show you what it could look like without even all of those features necessarily being applied. Obviously, each of these packs has their own slightly different take on how lighting should be done, etc, etc. Minecraft have said they don't even set default values, but later on in the process they'll see how a pack like this might run differently on, say, an Xbox and, say, an iPhone, and they're going to work out how they can tweak it so you can have a seamless experience, so that you can have your Minecraft look like this. Even if you're playing on an old Android phone, it just might have to have lower render distance values or slightly less physical base rendering or slightly less bloom. All of these things things are going to be adjustable, which is a really, really clever thing. Having RTX was a really impressive show of the Render Dragon's performance. Don't get me wrong, also wait, that's the sun, right? Is that the sun coming through the clouds, or what is that? But yeah, it has to be said, there are all sorts of incredible things that people will do with this. Right now, this is very much an early stage of looking at something, so it's very hard to show it off effectively because no one's used it to the max. It's the same as when a new Minecraft block is out. We can say what it is, but we can't really show the fullest of its potential because it won't be known until people build with it, and this is very much aimed at people who want to make higher quality texture packs so they can do stuff that is even better than the best that can be done right now, which is impressive to say the least. By the way, I just have to point out, just in case you're curious looking at this, I've been using the TU31 tutorial world as my kind of like showing off betas and previews, and I have to say, every time I come in here I get a little bit of nostalgia. It was so long ago in reality, but it feels so recently to me, and I love looking around this, and doing it with the improved engine visuals is just a whole nother level. Look at that! I can see the reflection of the building behind me. I can't see myself, which is weird. Why am I not reflected through there? But yeah, there are all sorts of weird base things they can do, and they're going to be actually working on having different, rendering but based on different physicalities, which is a really clever idea, because look at this, I can still see the torches behind there while seeing reflections, and there's all sorts of amazing things going on with this that I can't even imagine yet, but that is the incredibleness of this pack, and that's why it's kind of hard to talk about, but I do look forward to letting you know as soon as some of the best stuff has been done. And oh, by the way, this is something even better. This is, to me, a show that they really care about this. They actually had one of the better RTX packs that exist. This is Kelly's RTX. I like it a lot. It's very, very good. But one of the most loved packs, which has defined PBR already into it, and is called Better RTX. It's definitely one of the communities, especially when it comes to YouTubers' favorite RTX pack. This is one that the person actually confirmed that they were working with Minecraft to work out what things they should include and shouldn't include in this. And to me, that is a sign that they actually care about what the community can make the most of to make Minecraft beautiful. Minecraft have tried so many times themselves to make, the super duper pack or RTX for Xbox One, and ultimately they seem like cynical marketing exercises because they never actually came out. By asking the community what they can do with it, all they need to do is add the features, which it looks like they've done right now and will continue to do, to make Minecraft that looks like this more of a reality for people, because to me, RTX texture packs, insane realism, is something you can do right now quite easily if you want to, but having vanilla just look better in a way that everyone agrees on, like I would say that is what we're looking at right now, right? This is something that I look forward to seeing, and this is what 1.20 is paving the way for, or 1.20.30 I should say. Speaking of 1.20, 1.20.20 looks like it's coming out real soon, usually after we move on to the next beta version, after we've had the last beta for one. That's when there is a 1 to 2 week gap, and then we get the last beta as it's fully finished. So 1.20.20 will be releasing fairly soon, and I'm excited because it means we'll finally get the new trading. Oh, look at this, the golf course. I forgot about this. Should we do some golf? Is that what we gotta do? Okay, let's grab a golf ball. This is definitely one, and let's throw it at the golf hole. It doesn't work. There's no ice. Do you remember how all RTX packs used to have a problem with all blocks being shiny like this? I love that that's something that was easy to fix, and indeed there's so much more that has gone on, and in case you don't believe me that this is beautiful, in case you're like, Toy Cat looks like regular Minecraft, this is what regular Minecraft looks like once you adjust for it, and here we are with all that stuff loaded back in. Tell me you don't want this version of it in your world, and indeed on any platform, soon you'll be able to have that. But yeah, we've come to the point of the video where we need to talk about villager trading, and I want to talk about it a little bit more in depth. You already probably have heard that villagers are going to be based, the trades the librarian gets will be based on the biome that he spawns into. Because a villager who spawns here in a plains biome and looks like this is going to start giving you different trades than a villager which comes from a different biome. The reason behind this is to prevent the whole break and place and break and place, which is currently used to get the trades that you want from a villager. Instead, if you want, say, mending, which let's be honest, we all do, you go to a swamp villager instead. That's the simple end of it, but there's two things that are very much understated when we talk about this. One of them is that although Minecraft is making it more reliable, they're also making the end trades worse in quite a few cases. And to show you this, I think we really have to stare at the big table one more time. Because when we take a look at the 7 types of villager, bear in mind that jungle and swamp don't exist naturally, you have to create them yourself, you can see that there are 2 big flaws. One is that there are 28 enchantments total here, one of which is a Java exclusive, so 27 for Bedrock players. It's kind of weird that they would put that on the Bedrock list. But anyway, you can see that that is one of the problems, but the other is that the special book, the one you have to grind all the way to the max level of a villager for, is not just a variable cost. So you might go all the way to the max swamp level villager and he still charges you 64 emeralds for a mending book. What are you going to do about that? We don't know the actual max, but it's going to have a big range. So that's something that is one of the problems. The other problem to my mind is the fact that you get sharpness free or efficiency free or even unbreaking too. This is so stingy for the effort there is required to go to a jungle and make a villager. So I mentioned this before in my video yesterday, but something I didn't mention is each of the villagers one by one. So I'll highlight them as we go through. This is the desert villager, right? He's a natural type of villager. He just gives you fire protection, thorns, or infinity. The default free trades you can get from a desert villager are very, very niche. Most players don't want fire protection. Most players don't really value thorns, and infinity is generally seen as the weird bow enchantment. You might really like it, but most people don't prefer it, and so you get free useless enchantments, and in exchange all you get is efficiency free, which to get to the best level you have to combine 4 of those books together, which we'll get to later. This is one of the big flaws with this system. And then yeah, we can see the jungle villager. He has a better combination. Feather falling's nice, power is nice, projectile protection isn't so much. I would say that the best villager, as far as looking at them by default, because Plains villager, punch, smite, bane of arthropods, not very good. Savannah's got knockback, binding curse, and you don't get many good ones. But I would say the best overall villager probably is the swamp for having depth strider and respiration. It kind of fits the theme if it's a water-filled place. But then you've got the vanishing curse, and so overall each of these villagers aren't very good by themselves. You actually would want to have a village with multiple village types. Like I think, for example, I like swamp for the niche enchantments. I think I would then go with snow because I need the looting. I think that's a really good one, as well as a frostwalker. That's pretty nice. And then maybe I'd go for jungle for making a more powerful bow and having all my stuff have unbreaking. But then you'd still need you need 3 types of villager just to get any basic set done, which is basically saying if you want to enchant, don't do it via the villagers, which might be their point. But I would say that I think Minecraft's actual nerf, the thing they say they intend to do when you look at the changelog, is they say very clearly they just want to help us decide in the direction of their changes, but they want to make it so that village players will have to work towards getting the best trades instead of relying on random chance. We hope this makes the librarian trading more interesting and skillful, while also revealing some clues about the history of each village type through the enchantments. And I love that the snow village has the frostwalker. I love that swamp has respiration and a depth strider. But what is the logic behind I can also see jungle having feather falling, but what about savannah and knockback, or savannah and binding curse? What's the story meant to be behind savannah having sweeping edge, or the plains biome having the bane of arthropod? Personally, these don't really feel like they're telling any particularly good story. Do you tell me if you disagree with that one? But the even more important thing than just they're not really doing a great job at the story is the fact that you are getting, for the very highest level of effort that now requires so much more, weaker enchantments. You can't nerf something in terms of how you get it, but also nerf the quality of something, because then people are going to feel cheaped out, especially since Minecraft has an outdated and broken mechanic which they're not fixing alongside this, which is the too expensive one. So when you add protection 1 to your diamond chestplate, it will now cost 1 to enchant, and then if you want to add protection 1 again to make it protection 2, it gets slightly more expensive. Then you combine 2 of these books, so you have another protection 2, so you can stack it on there, and now it costs 5 levels, and basically every single time that you want to enchant something, it gets more and more and more expensive, which, by the way, it gets even kind of tricky to do on a level, but here you can see, now it's 11 levels to get protection 4. If we want to do the same, but also add unbreaking onto it, it's 17 levels, add unbreaking onto it again, and it's 32 levels, and then if we want to put mending on there, it's too expensive. Even if I wanted to pay the ridiculous inflated level cost, it literally will not let me. I have got 11,956 levels because I slayed the dragon that many times or something, but I still am not able to put mending on there, even though it would only cost me 42, because the game has a built-in mechanic to discourage you from doing precisely this. And again, this made sense at one point in time. Before mending was added, it was was there to encourage you to, once a piece of armor had gone through being too expensive, you had to finally move on and create a new piece of gear. Nowadays, that doesn't happen. It just discourages you from adding too many enchantments to something, and indeed, combining too many enchantments together is actively a bad thing. Can you just combine these together? You know, now you have to think about how you're stacking things together in a way that just doesn't make any sense to anyone. So Minecraft needs to fix this. It's an old, outdated mechanic that does nothing for modern Minecraft, especially because mending does exist. The second thing they need to work on is definitely the variability of trading. So if we look at this villager's trade costs, he's going to sell me for 8 emeralds, flame 1. But this guy is going to sell me for 8 emeralds, smite 1. Actually, that's nicely rounded, isn't it? But the point is, sometimes you might pay for mending right now 64 emeralds, sometimes you might pay 17 emeralds, or if he's a cured villager, maybe even 3 or 4 or 1. But the point is these variable trades are just kind of silly feeling. They don't, you know, like the progression isn't there. That's something they are fixing, but what they're not fixing is these max level trades. If you go all the way to level 5 with a librarian, think about how many trades that takes. You shouldn't have to think, oh no, I went to level 5, but then I got bad RNG anyway. So that is something I'd love to see them fix. Pick a fixed cost or a really, really narrow range. But the third and most important thing is don't remove enchantments that people can already get. So this is without the toggle turned on, I should clarify. Minecraft has done something really fun, which has made it a toggle to actually get this villager trading on. So something really fun that you might be able to see is when you start a brand new world, this is a good sign because all of the other changes, including the diamonds, are in base 1.20.30. Right now, at least, I can't confirm if it will stay this way forever, you have to hit this toggle right here, which is villager trade rebalancing. This will then change the trades on new villagers, and I really like that it's an experimental feature. You know, it's literally as experimental as Render Dragon features, by the way. This is an experimental feature, which to me shows that villagers, oh look at that, you can see they don't offer any trades on their first thing if they're new villagers now, but this is an experimental feature which tells me that they are looking for more feedback. They're not just going to ram this through, even though a lot of the community don't like it, which is something that's important. To me, this is a good set of changes. It's a really good idea that has some like questionable execution and definitely needs some work, but the biggest part of it is not just the too expensive, it's not the variability in villager costs and the way that you can go all the way to the max and feel like you still haven't done a good enough job. It's the fact that basically no matter where you spawn in a villager, he looks like this. There are 7 types of villager, right? These are the 6 different biomes you can find villagers in, and admittedly, the swamp villager will also spawn in a mangrove swamp, so he gets 2 types. But what happens when you spawn a villager in a birch forest, or the deep dark, or in the nether, or in even just take a dark forest or something? He becomes a plains villager because he's not just the plains villager, he's the default villager. This to me is a problem because it means that although there are 7 types of villager, and they're all equally likely in some, let's turn on the RTX by the way, they're all equally likely in some meaning of that word, the truth on the reality of things is that actually, even though they're equal, there is actually one type of villager that spawns everywhere. So super flat players, they get plains villagers. Let's say cave players, let's just imagine you were living your whole life in a cave. Hypothetically, obviously doesn't apply to me, but if that was you, then you would get plains villagers too. This is something Mojang needs to work on, and I think that rather than removing enchantments, right now there are no longer trident, crossbow, trident or crossbow enchantments, which is a really big loss. I think that Minecraft should add these. Let's say you add an ocean villager, he could look like this. He could sell you trident specific enchantments. Imagine how cool it would be starting a new village under the ocean so you could get your trident enchantments. That would feel rewarding and it would make sense on a history level, right? If they live underwater, maybe they can even breathe underwater or be cured from drowns. I'm not going to spitball too much on this, but then it would make sense why they have all these trident enchantments. You could do the exact same with a, I really like the idea of a lush cave villager or a cherry grove villager, but having different villagers which would have different enchantments based on the situations that they're in would really, really make sense, because 7 villager types for 5 villagers just isn't enough to justify having a change this big. I understand why they feel they need to make it, and I understand also that not every Minecraft change they introduce should have a huge art rebalance from a team and then also a code balance and then they have to do bug fixing, etc. I understand how that massively increases the amount of work, but you also have to say that, like, well, Minecraft, you know, it doesn't want to do a huge amount of work on this. They want to rebalance it while focusing on those exciting new features. but at the same time, the community has to do a lot of work to get 7 new types of villagers, and so yeah, my heads up to Mojang is really, you need to add some more to this. You need some meat to go with the potatoes, because the potatoes are delicious, but also, you know, there's a little bit of vomit on one of the sides of them, and also, everyone's saying they don't want to eat potatoes, so maybe you shouldn't feed them potatoes. But the other side of things is also that I think that this is a good change still, even though the community has come down set hard saying they don't like it. I think a lot of creators especially are saying, yeah, I like my villager farms being how they are. A lot of people who know how to play Minecraft one way and don't want to change it are like, I just want Minecraft to be the same way forever. And also, some people understandably are just saying it's now harder for no good reason. And I agree with those people. Whoa, look how blurry the villagers get. I don't know if I like that or not. That's one of the experimental features maybe, or maybe it's not, I don't know. But yeah, I think that one of the important things to say in all of this, one of the most important things to note from this, is not just that my chest plate is too expensive, and so I'm just saying I'm incredibly wealthy. Just a little bit of flex there at the end of the video. But the other thing I should say, you know, I have all the Minecraft diamonds. You can never be as wealthy as me. You ever go to the store and they won't let you buy something because it's too expensive? Wait, I think that makes me sound poor. I think, am I poor secretly because they won't let me buy things at the store? They keep kicking me out and saying, sir, just, you have to change the way you smell before you come in here. But that's, I always assumed because I smell too much of money. But yeah, the important thing here, oh, that's a fun little find in the corner. I'm finding things about this tutorial world years later and I love it. But yeah, the important thing about this entire change is that Minecraft should care what the community think, and if the community at large doesn't like it, then they should work out how to make it better. But that's just my take. I am really excited to see what Minecraft's working on. I am excited for 1.20.20 because it will bring in the ability to trade for cherry saplings, so my super flat world will finally be worth hanging out in. But these are all changes we can wait to see soon. For now, I hope you all enjoyed this particular video, because I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Whoa, I've got like a blue outline on me when I'm going past water. It's so weird. Look at that. What is this? Anyway, yeah, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll perhaps show off some of the newer features once I have a pack that definitively can use them. It's something I'm excited to do. I've spoken with a better RTX person, because as best I can tell, that is one of the best RTX packs out there, so I'll let you know how that goes, and indeed, I'll show it off once that's out there. But for now, we can just say there are incredible new ray tracing features which everyone can enjoy on their worlds. And I'll also say that I hope you will enjoy this video, because I'll see you in the next one. There's no Q&A Saturday this week, apparently, because it's beta Talk About Time week. So maybe we'll have to do a Q&A Wednesday or something. Anyway, yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Hope I'm recording, huh? I am.